Hey guys, it's Roxy with Broadway Breakdown, and today we are going to be doing stage makeup. As you can see, I have nothing on except I already did my foundation and concealer, just the basics. But I'm just going to be doing a basic, like pretty stage makeup. So for just like a leading lady, or if you're, a girl in the ensemble, for I like to think of this for just an extra little zhuzh, like a more of a glamour, not total showgirled out, but probably not if you're just like a townsperson in, Iowa for like Music Man. But maybe if you're like kind of in a splashy musical, like 42nd Street or Guys and Dolls, Dames at Sea, just some splashier musical. But, it's put me in good stead for a lot of roles. I've used it for numerous leads or chorus. But I think a lot of stage makeup, for these kinds of roles, well, any stage makeup, unless you're doing a big character thing like for Cats or, an aging stage makeup, but I think a good thing to keep in mind for stage makeup is the eyes, because as long as you keep the eyes open, because the eyes are just so expressive on stage, that's where you get the big those kinds of things. But so that's where I really focus on. But anyway, like I say, this is just going to be kind of a pretty makeup. For base, since I already have that on, some people are used to doing the big pancake thick, in that pan, and you take a sponge and you wet it and you just glob it on, and it's really thick and it doesn't go anywhere, and then they powder it down really well. And that's fine if that's what you're used to. I found a long time ago that I never could really find my color, and that's just never really suited me well. So I just take my normal base, or a good base, maybe not the one I use like for every day because I kind of like a sheer base, but a good base, either full thick coverage or maybe even a waterproof, and then just powder that down really well, especially if you're gonna be wearing it night after night. And it can be whatever you like, high end or drugstore, or whatever. And if you have to touch up in between scenes, blot it and reapply or powder. But I think that puts you in pretty good stead. Interesting enough, I was just watching a Get Ready With Me with Isabella Boylston, one of the principals of with ABA, and she was getting ready with Swan Lake, and she was like, she just took her everyday base too and was saying the same thing. I was like, oh, okay, yeah. I'll link that video down below in the description box. But all right, so let's just get started. I'll get started with, I guess I'll warm my face up. Just now, contouring with stage makeup, I don't like to do a lot of contouring because I think contouring, it's different. Now, if you're into contouring for your regular makeup, that's great. There's all kinds, but heavy or light, or some people just do it with bronzer or whatever. But I think for stage, it's a little different, because if you do it, too heavy, you can start to look that really sunken in look, or you can look a little aged, or, and with musical, comedy, theater, everything you want to look bright and happy with. That's the point. You just want to look really fresh and always on, So, and with, I rarely, am able to use my own hair with performing. I've hardly ever, I'm trying to think of the shows I've been able to use my own hair. I've had all kinds of hair in my life, brunette, blonde, redhead, whatever, but I'm invariably in a wig on stage. So, and usually the wigs have bangs or something, so I rarely worry about, highlighting or doing any kind of thing to my forehead. So, if you're gonna do a little bit of warmth around your face, a little contouring, I just take a typical, light bronzer, and this is just, Lancome, just a light bronzer, and just, kind of where your cheekbones are set. And I just do just a little bit to kind of, you know, I mean, if you're going to, maybe your forehead's going to show, but just a little light bronzing in there. And that's kind of it. I mean, I don't really, you know, really do a lot there. Just kind of right. And it's going to get blended later with the blush, the tons of blush that you use. But I really don't make a big, and it shouldn't come too far in, you know. I just kind of keep it right under there. And that's really it for me. And then I do, because I have I think I have kind of a wide nose. I take a little bit, and it's kind of hard to use a camera as a mirror, but I take just a little bit and I shade in my nose a little bit to give that just a little extra. I don't know if I've done a little too much there. Take some of that off the brush and then just go back and I can't really tell, but anyway, and that's about it, you know. And then if you want to do just a little, you know, shading, give you a little chin, whatnot. And that's done. I'm done. Okay, so let's start with the eyes. So you can do the eyes. I mean, if you wanted to do a purple or a blue, or, you know, and then it's always what the director suggests, you know, what he or she wants in makeup and what's right for the show too, you know. But I'm gonna do pretty just natural looking, kind of a smoky, you know, to really make the eyes pop, but just, you'll see. Okay, so I'm just taking this, it's a Charlotte Tilbury palette, and it's Rock Chick to start with, and it's that lightest shade. And I'm just gonna, this is just to brighten up pretty much all the eye. And I'm not doing this in any, because so much is gonna go on this eye. It doesn't have to be perfect at all. You're just, this is just literally something to brighten the whole eye. Okay, just, that's it. And then I'm going to take, because I like the neutrals in this palette, it's her Pillow Talk. And it's going to be these two neutral, kind of this pinky and brown shades. You could do this with other browns or not oranges, but lighter or darker shades of brown. I just kind of picked this one. And then I'm going to go in with the crease to kind of just warm the eye up here. And in the crease, just kind of give that eye some warmth. I love makeup. Just, I mean, everyday makeup, stage makeup. I just love makeup. So you can already see the difference. That's, I like to tap the extra off so there's no fallout on the cheek. But yeah, I'm just, as you can see, just, you know, going in about halfway on the lid to get that in. And that's, as you can see, I'm not very precise with this because, like I say, we've got more to do. We've got magic to do just for you. Okay. Then I'm going back in with Rock Chick. And I'm taking, I mean, you could do a black. It depends on how smoky you want to get this. I'm taking just this kind of a mix of the grays here. And I'm going to just on the outside here on the corner right there, just on the corner, gonna start making that smoky. Yeah. can tell I'm gonna have to keep building this up. I usually, like, I love to get to the theater early and just, like, this is my time to relax and get ready for the show and get into character. You know, I'm kind of hurrying this along, but, you know, for the video, but this can sometimes just be, you know, 30, 40, 45-minute process for me because I like it to just look perfect. But, yeah, so, okay, so that's looking pretty. Now I'm going to take a bigger brush, and we're going to just start blending all of this. That's why I wasn't being very precise, because I'm like, yeah, we're just gonna blend all that together. Now, if you want to, I think I kind of covered up a lot of that peachy shade, Peachy King Jelly Bean. But yeah, it's my dog Lily, my little furry friend. She might have to make an appearance in one of my videos. She loves show tunes. She really does. Okay. So, then I go back and I take, because this is really bright, this silver again, and we're gonna do that on the brow bone. And we're gonna do that in the corner of the eye. Right in there. Okay. Why am I looking like, what's going on? Okay. Oh, brows. I don't fuss with my brows. I mean, I've had these brows forever, and did I totally forget to, yeah, I forgot. I thought I brought everything I needed, and I forgot my spoolie. Not cool. Not cool. I usually just get my spoolie and just brush up my eyebrows, and that's it. Like, that's literally all I do, is just get my spoolie and just brush up my brows and call it a day. So that's what's gonna have to do for right now. Okay, so just to make the eyes sparkle a little more, I love these Charlotte Tilbury palettes, but really any palette is gonna, if you get a good palette with lots of different mattes or sparkles or glitter or whatever, if you want to just make those eyes pop a little bit more, I like to take these glitter shades, these little sparkle shades she has in there, and I just like to pop that right there on the lid, and just for that extra sparkle, because you can't have too much sparkle. So right there, just pop that puppy on it there, and that is already making the eyes just like gazinga. Okay. All right, moving on. Now, I normally don't do a cat eye during the day, but for stage, yeah, we're doing the cat eye. Now, my trick for the cat eye is I use the bottom line as the guide for the feline flick, and I just take it, like, I don't line the bottom liner right now, but I just use that as a guide, and I just that's where I pop it, right there, because I have very small eyes and I have hooded eyes, so, you know, that's my guide. And then same on the other side. I just take it right there. And that's my guide. Okay. Then I take the liner on the top and I go, and I can't do a felt tip for the life of me for cat eye. I just take a really sharp liner that's really smooth. This is like a kohl liner and it just glides on very smooth. But I take it about, not all the way, and then I get where the liner here and I draw it to meet where I just ended that line. And then I just like fill it in. And that's my cat eye. It's the same on the other thing. I just, so not all the way, take that point, draw it to meet the line, and fill it in. Ta-da! Eyes are instantly bigger. Okay. Now for the bottom, if I were to draw the line up like also another like cat eye, I'd look too, and my eyes would just be like too small. So I trace just the bottom line to open the eyes up a little bit more, and then I do just a little trick here. So I take the line, and then at the very end I'm just going to do a little flick downward, almost to motion, like almost like a little, it's going to look like the bottom line, a line of a lash. And that just, it's almost like, you know how this is almost accentuating like a top lash. This accentuates the bottom lash. And I mean, not big time. They can't look like spider eyes or anything, but it just mimics like a bottom lash. And from far away, it looks, you know, more natural. Up close, yes, you're like, that looks kind of odd, but no, from far away, it makes your eyes look almost permanently open. Like, think doll eyes. You know how dolls have that painted lashes, and sometimes they're accentuated. It's the same premise. I'm trying to see if I got these even. Okay, I think I did. It's hard to see. One may be a little bit thicker, but yeah, I think that'll work. Okay, then it's time for lashes. Okay, so now, you know, I don't do the whole tweezers and, you know, everything. I've been doing these for so long. I'm just like, whatever, just you know, just pop those puppies on. So I just, hopefully a glob of glue won't come. I just literally just put the glue on the little plastic it comes on, and oh, that might not have been enough. Okay. Just put a little glue on the, you know, the rim of the lash. And then I just pop that puppy on. That's it. I mean, it's not a real, like, big thing here. Okay. Yep, that'll do it. Now, I usually like, I mean, especially if it's, I always wear false lashes, even if it's, I mean, not during the daytime, but for any show, even if it's sort of an understated role, because it helps make your eyes look bigger on stage. But if it's a real kind of glammed up role, then I like those lashes that are even like bigger and fanned out, you know. I think those are fun, but you know, for right now I just kind of did these. Time for mascara. Okay, so we're just gonna put mascara right on there. We're gonna do and don't forget bottom. Now, a little trick is, and you can do mascara for days. I mean, that's just, now I take a big jumbo white crayon. This is from NYX, but you can, and right where you drew those lines, I just pop ever so slightly a little tinge of white, because it just kind of makes those eyes pop a little bit, and it looks like they're just a little bit more like opened, you know, just. And if you think you need a little more color, you know, you can always go back and give it a little more smoke up here, you know, or whatever. I'll leave that to your. Now, for blush, I've just got a good poppy pink, and you know, I smile, those are the apples of your cheeks, and just, you know, I like to keep it right in the apples because that gives you a happier, bouncy look. I mean, you can blend a little bit back here, but I like to just keep it right in those apples. You know, just really rosy cheeks. I always think of more doll makeup when I think of stage makeup. And probably when you think, oh, that's too much, probably not. Go more. But yeah. And yeah, go more. Go big. Go big or go home. And yeah, you can do a little highlighter if you want. I mean, you know, you don't want to look sweaty on stage, so don't overdo the highlight. But, you know, if you want to just do a little, again, don't overdo bronzing and highlighter for stage, but just a little bit, and just, you know, boop. Leave that to your discretion. And then red lips for stage. Like, you have to have red lips for stage. I think. And I like these lip puffies. I never wear red, ever, during the day. Pinky nude is my thing, but this is such, I just thought this red, these lip puffies are just so pigmented. Something else, they're very pigmented, but they're a little bit drying, and so I sometimes put a little lip balm under them, and that helps them keep, they still stay on just as well, but then I just kind of feather, kind of smooth them out with a lip pencil, a lip brush. They stay on just as well throughout the show, but I do tend to put a little lip balm underneath them, just so they don't dry out too much, and my lips aren't sticking or drying out while I'm singing and talking and doing whatever. But I just love this shade because it's such a cherry red. It's such a pretty pinky red. It's a blue red, which is for my coloring. Little blot. And there you go. That is my stage makeup. Like I say, you can, whatever wig or hair you have for the show, after being tied up in this hairband, but you, like I say, you probably have a wig or whatever. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe to my channel, and give me a thumbs up if you like this video. There'll be more to come, and have fun with makeup. Makeup is just supposed to be fun. No specific rules to follow, just have fun. Alright, I'll see you at the next video. Bye.